Hey guys, today I wanted to share with you what I think is a great way to get better at traditional archery. And you know what? You can actually apply this to pretty much anything that's challenging in life, whether that's something at your job or just any personal goals. I really think that this is a great approach to try and tackle those challenging things. So, very quickly, the reason this channel is called Submission Archery is because another hobby that I love doing is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now, I've been doing that for a while now. One of my very first coaches talked about the concept of being process oriented versus outcome oriented. This is really the first time I ever heard of it, and it just clicked right away, and it's still something I think about to this day, and how I approach these challenging things. So, to put it in the context of archery, I'm going to try to give you an example here. Let's say we have two identical twins. Say they have the same draw length, they're shooting the same exact bow, same draw weight, they're shooting the same arrow build. Let's say that the first twin is outcome oriented and the second twin is process oriented. And let's say that we're tracking their progress throughout a whole year. Let's say that the first person that's outcome oriented goes in the backyard every night and they shoot a few dozen arrows. They're not thinking about anything other than just hitting the bullseye. They go in the backyard and they say, all right, let's get better. Let's hit the bullseye. They pull back, they shoot, they shoot, they shoot, not thinking about anything but the end goal of what they want to achieve. Really, you might think that this is a good way to go about it. I think that there's actually a better way to go about it. Now, the second twin is process oriented. Now, the very first week that he goes to his backyard and starts shooting, he's not worried about hitting the bullseye at all. As a matter of fact, he might not even shoot an arrow that week. Let's say his very first week, he just wants to work on his anchor point. So he goes in the backyard and he draws his bow back and he just finds what anchor works best for him. And he reps it out and he just keeps on doing it, and he finally found where he likes his anchor and he just greases the groove and it becomes home base for him. He knows that that's where his anchor point is. So basically, he delayed gratification in hitting that bullseye, and he focused on a small piece of the process, which is his anchor point. And it feels like second nature by the end of that first week because he's practiced it so many times. Now the second week comes by. The outcome-oriented person goes in the backyard, same deal. I just want to hit the bullseye. I just want to hit the bullseye. Arrow, arrow, arrow. Not thinking about anything else. Now the process-oriented person goes in the backyard and says, okay, last week I worked on my anchor point and I really feel comfortable. It feels like home base for me now. That's it. Let's move on. So the second week he works on something like his grip. Maybe he thinks that he's torquing the bow too much, or maybe he's slapping his arm and he wants to figure out what's going on with that. So the whole second week, again, he delays gratification and he just works on his grip. He finds where he likes to locate his palm on the grip, figures if he's applying too much torque in one part of the grip, and that's the entire thing he works on that whole week. Now, I could keep on going through these different parts of the process of shooting a bow, but I think you get the idea. And I can promise you, probably 10 times out of 10, at the end of that year, the person that was process oriented is really going to outshoot the person that was just focused on the outcome the whole time. And that's because he worked on every little piece of the process so that by the time it came to hitting the bullseye, that's just going to happen as a byproduct. Whereas the person that was outcome oriented, he's not really focusing on being consistent or any of the little things that add up to getting to hit that bullseye. Now guys, I'm not an expert in this. This is just a hobby that I love. I've sifted through a ton of materials and videos and forums and articles, and I tried a lot of stuff. I've discarded what didn't work for me and I kept what did. And I really encourage you to do the same thing. So really take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but give it a shot, give everything a shot and just see what works for you. And I promise that things are just going to fall in line and you're going to develop your own ways that maybe no one else is doing. So I really think that's a great way to go about it. Guys, if you like this video, I would love if you subscribed to the channel and liked and commented. It means a lot to me. So thank you very much for your support.